Hey there, welcome. My name is Alonda Carter and I am the Recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM, that's anti-multi-level marketing videos. And I also do some true crime and some white collar crime, basically anything that's kind of scammy or related to fraud. Today, we are going to check out some training by Market America, which they try to claim that they're not an MLM, but if you look like a duck, sound like a duck, walk like a duck, you know, you're pretty much that triangular duck in my book. And they use things like upline, downline. They are what they claim that they're not, because there is nothing else that has language like that. Now, Market America says that you are an unfranchised owner. I mean, get this. A UFO. I mean, are they really just messing with us now? Why would you pick something that would have such a crazy acronym? Are they just like laughing at everybody, you know, like behind their back saying all this stuff and knowing it is nuts, but saying it anyway with a straight face, which I really, honestly, I don't know if I could do that time and time again. I really want to know, is this just some twisted joke? And, you know, people who join are the butt of it. Just wondering. The training that we are going to see is put on by two men who are part of Market America. If you want to know more about their backstory, I'll put a link to the video that I did before this one that tells you that story. We are going to be checking out what Dennis Franks and Jim Winkler have to say for the week 2 of the Master UFO, the MUFO, Master UFO training. Now, please don't send any hate to anyone who is part of Market America, who has joined a direct selling company, network marketing, social selling, multi-level marketing. I mean, all these different words, all these things that are all disguising, it's all the same thing, but they just like using different words, because once one has kind of a negative connotation, they like all run like cockroaches and just scatter like, no, we're not that. But are. I mean, really, their denial that we're not like the other guys, to me, is a little bit like, I think you protest too much. Anyway, let's go ahead and check it out as we watch this training together. I have not seen it before, so you're going to get my first reaction. I'm going to be keying in on terminology and giving you just basically my thoughts and opinions as we watch this little charade, shall I say.
All right, we got the team joining us. This is great. Welcome everybody to our Monday night masterclass. You're here with myself, Jim Winkler, and of course my teammate, Dennis Franks, former NFL player and current superstar in Market America. So we're gonna have some fun tonight as we go through week 2. So it's great to have everybody with us.
Tell us where you're from, folks. It's great to be able to see you and know that we're talking from around the world for each and every one of you. It's great to have you. Hawaii's on, Jim. That's good. Hey, Hawaii, when are you going to have the next local seminar that Jim and I can come out and be your guest?
Yeah, we always like going to the warm places.
Right, you know.
Oh, we're Sydney, Australia. A lot of Canada with us.
Yes.
Good to see.
Got our home
San Diego.
Yeah, Texas is in.
Yeah, we got a lot of people joining from all over. We had, so last session, Dennis, I think we had, over 800 people on, and I think we've got over 1,500 registered on this session. So I think word's getting out about the master class.
Yes, it is a great class to be a part of. It's really moving people forward. I got to tell you, there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. It's been fast and fun, as I call it. And I have to tell you something. I have never seen so many names lists in my life. And, you know, we always struggled getting 100 names, and they are flying through at our Master on Franchise at marketamerica.com. Yes.
It was great going through and reading the accountability sheets looking at the names, us looking at what they want to accomplish out of this. So congratulations to everyone who did that. If you didn't do it, we'll talk about that and ways you can catch up a little bit. But I think what I'll do is I'll start sharing my screen, Dennis, and why don't we get ready to get this rolling for everybody, because we have a lot of ground to cover this evening as we have the second week that we're joining. All right, guys, so we're in week 2 right now. And of course, as we start off, I want to make sure you understand that you do have to put in time and effort. That's something that always needs to be done when you're building this business, and something you'll hear Dennis and I talk about over and over again. That nothing's for free, but the rewards you get are wonderful when you build this the correct way. And that's what we're going to spend a lot of time talking about. Now, you can find week 1 if you go to YouTube, and if you happen to miss the first week of the master class, maybe you're jumping on now a little bit late after missing that first one, you can go to week 1 if you go to YouTube, and you'll see master class right there. We're going to have that full playlist put there, but it'll be labeled by week so you can see it, so you can catch up. Or if you've got somebody who's joining that you know and wants to catch up, they can go there to be able to grab that as well. From a training outline, Dennis, today we're going to be talking about retailing, base 10, and the best tools to use. And, we've got quite an extensive 12 weeks we're going to cover. I don't know which one will be my favorite, but I do know this will be one of them, because I love generating BV. And how about you? I know you taught me that.
Hey, I'm all about it. Nothing like cash flow. I mean, that's just the best. I mean, when I think about it, there is just no way that anyone can be in business without generating that extra income coming in.
Yeah, so true. I am going to, let me just make sure I turn on, Dennis, let's see if I do this right, closed captioning again. Thank you for that reminder. Sometimes we do forget that, and always appreciate you reminding us to put that on to give the benefit to everyone. So it's going to be a great 12 weeks. In the first week, we covered the why, the what, and the how, and really went into detail why this makes sense from a standpoint of building and from a standpoint of rewards with it, with what we've tracked and seen in the past. We laid out that foundation. You guys started off with some great homework assignments, and Dennis, those included a commitment sheet, which we had sent in. Again, everything during these 12 weeks will go to the master UFO at marketamerica.com. We get the names list, which you mentioned earlier, from everybody coming in, and really proud of you guys for taking the effort to put that together. That's really the first step, the goal statement over what you want to accomplish. And that, I think, is a major thing for you. And then that accountability sheet, which we'll touch on a little bit as well, that gets turned in by Saturday. I will ask you to please have it in by Saturday. I know Donna said a lot came in on other days. I'm going to turn this over to you now, Dennis, a little bit.
Sure. And the one thing I wanted to get back, because we got a lot of questions on the weekly accountability, and specifically on what the team, new BV, new preferred customers registered, and so forth. So a quick review. First of all, to find the weekly accountability, you're going to your management reports. And then there you go. You're going to My Organization Reports, and then you'll go to Weekly Accountability. Once you're there, remember, hit the submittal button. The submittal. Don't request. Hit submittal, and make sure that you put in the master UFO at marketamerica.com address, and be sure to put your copy of your address there also, and maybe your senior partner or partner you're working with, because it's good to have the accountability go to your senior partner or the partner you're working with. The other thing that I wanted to, Jim, comment?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a great idea. Do you have them do it to themselves so they can keep a record of the 12 weeks?
Yes, and also if you hit reply, you can't reply to the unfranchised email address. You've got to have the individual put their email address there so you can actually just hit reply and send your comments back. Also, when you're going through here, Just remember, we're just tracking how many follow-ups you've made. You can put a maximum of 3 in there. We asked for 2, but put 3. It's always better. And I know you'll have more. And then the evaluations that you show. And then be sure to put outcomes. We want to know if you're booking that follow-up. We want to know if you're moving into the trial run or if they've agreed to bring guests to your next show that you're going to give the evaluation. Make sure also that you're putting in what trainings you're attending. In addition to that, you're going to move forward and also put in if you have personally sponsored, then it's going to ask you for your team's personally sponsored. Let me explain that. It's very simple. The team is referring to you plus 1 from your left or 1 from your right, or it could be you plus 1 from your right and 2 from your right. It all basically is working in 3s. You don't have to put your entire organization, and don't worry if you don't have a team. Right now, we're working on getting you to that next level of Master UFO and starting that consistency run because of what we saw the outcome after being consistent for 3 consecutive years being a Master UFO. And again, remember, when you go and send us your accountability, go down to the bottom where it says questions and comments and just say, this is Jim Winkler, and I'm going to tell you my best part of the week. And I'm also going to tell you about my challenges for the week, and you're looking to improve. That's important as we go through this. Now, we're getting hundreds of these, so make sure that you take your time and get them sent in on time on Saturdays, so it gives us a full day and a half to take a look at things.
That's great. And like Dennis said, I think our biggest question on the accountability sheet, Dennis, was the teams, right? And
yes.
If you don't put anything down for teams, we're okay with that. We're really interested over these 12 weeks on you building what you do, because we know you'll teach that how to duplicate. As Dennis said, that we're going to ask you to use that question and comments area where I've got the mouse right now quite a bit with other homework assignments. So just make sure you're aware where that is. Great overview on that.
Jim, I do want to say one thing before we go into the actual workshop tonight. I want to thank Dawn Stubbs for recommitting after 10 years in the business. She's determined that she's going to make this happen. And I also had to laugh. Joyce, I had to laugh when you said, I am a Master UFO. Then you put underneath, I love this T-shirt. I guess you're making a T-shirt to talk about your success. I had to laugh when I read that.
We both did. That was good. You said, I love my T-shirt. We're like, well, are we giving out T-shirts? And I called you.
She's just going to give her recognition. But tonight we're talking about retailing base 10, the best tools to use. And
let me just stop right there before we get into the meat of their training, and I do use that very loosely. In case you don't know this, I'm a professional instructional designer. That's someone who designs and develops training. And so whenever I listen to and watch these things, it just extra cringe because it doesn't follow anything that anybody who is in the profession of instructional design would consider like, oh, yeah, there are good principles and everything. No, doesn't do that. Okay, first of all, it's called a masterclass. And to me, that's just kind of a label that's been overlaid on here to make people feel good, like they are doing something, that they are going to be mastering something. But exactly what are you mastering? Because you're not really told that. Now, this is run, as far as I'm concerned, these two guys, to me, this is my opinion, they just seem like a couple of blowhards, and they're very, very cringe to me. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you feel more strongly than I do. But that's just what comes to my mind. And this whole accountability thing, this is a psychological ploy. This ties you closer to the belief system that's related to the overall plan that Market America is your savior. It's the thing that's going to make your life all much better. And it's really all about keeping you with the belief and thinking it's going to work out. Now, tonight, we're told we're going to learn about the retailing base 10 tools to use. And if I remember, and I did not look it up before I started recording this, but I think it's in my first video, this whole retailing base 10, it's how you set up your overall initial structure, if you can even set up your structure, BV, because they throw that around, that is for business volume. That's what that loaded language is. The homework, the list of 100, the goal, all of that, that is part of group think. It is a form of control, and also to make you dependent, not only on Market America, but these two dudes who are, leaders, for you to really think that they are going to help you in some way. It's all deception. You become dependent on them, believing that they are giving you some sort of secret knowledge so you can be successful. And one of the things that I found super cringy was the person who recommitted, because that person was praised for being obedient. And that just made me super uncomfortable.
Folks, when you think about this, it's so important. We're going to dive into this because this is something that defines who you are, because it's all about being a retail-driven company.
Yeah, it is. I want to give a shout out to Harold Whitaker, too. I wrote that name down as one. He mentioned that he had never gone for this before, Dennis. He's been in the business for quite a while, and I love seeing people who are taking the time to go after this, you know what I mean, and making that commitment right now to do it, whether you've been in the business 3 months, 3 years, or 20 years. It doesn't matter. It's great to see you making that commitment. And then Jillian Mirren, same thing. Congratulations on making that commitment. We're proud of you.
You betcha. And again, what we're doing is fulfilling the part where you want to do a minimum of 1,500 business volume each respective quarter. Now, again, I know, Jim, you're all about maximums, and I'm all with you with that. It's not about doing the minimum, folks. Anybody can reach for minimums. Let's get past that. So let's say greater than 1,500 business volume in a respective quarter. And it's a combination of your personally used product, exclusive brands, and what your registered preferred customers with their paying ID come back through your website sales. But it's what you personally use, what you're personally selling, and of course, what your preferred customers are buying online. Big part of what we do.
I love that, Dennis. I love that you said it's the minimum, because we should be really looking at that and looking at it that way. Not I'm striving to get there, because that should be your minimum. And some of you are going to do much, much more than that and set your goals much higher than that.
Absolutely. And when we think about us as unfranchised owners, what we do is we use our products. It's the best way to be able to share them effectively. And then we as unfranchised owners retail products. We don't give them away. We don't basically, just go through the motions. No, the bottom line is we retail products. What does that mean? Simply getting a gross retail profit, the difference between your cost and the retail suggested price that you're putting it out there. That difference is to help you move your business forward. So why do people buy? And this is the one thing that if you understand this, your conversation with people will go so much easier. I was surprised to see that price was the 8th most important part of why people buy. Isn't that amazing, Jim, when you start thinking about that? Ease of purchase. Make it so that your client does not have to ask you how to purchase it. Offer multiple ways and then ask which way is most convenient for you. When other people can't buy it, that makes them want to buy it more. The fact that we have exclusive brands is really important. Buy when it's convenient. I talked a little bit about that ease of purchase, but when is it convenient? Do you want me to notify you at week 3 when you're coming close to running out of the product? They want to prevent what they fear when product becomes hard to find. There's also been issues in this past year with supply chains. Understand that product is not as available as people would like it. And then finally, price. But don't be afraid of price. You don't have to be the lowest priced product. You're offering the best product. You have the highest quality in the right dosages. And remember, know your value added. And that is we use distinct ingredients that were done and used in the research when they develop the formula. So price is so important, but also learn how to break it down to single serving prices.
Yes.
So it's less than $1 a day or less than $2 a day to do what? Get used to the benefit they're looking for to solve that pain.
You know, Dennis, I remember you teaching this years and years ago and saying, take a couple of your favorite products that you take. Maybe it's OPC3 and a multivitamin, or maybe it's OPC3, a multivitamin and a B complex, or our daily essentials. Break it down. What would the serving cost be per day? And I remember it always came out to a couple bucks, $2.50, something like that. Then it was a comparison. A cup of coffee or being healthy for the rest of your life, and it really is, when you talk price is important. But when you break it down per day, it becomes more understandable. And when you explain value, that's something I learned early in my life, is price doesn't matter if the value isn't good. If you buy a shirt and it costs you $5, but you wear it once, it's worth $5. If you buy a shirt but it costs you $50, but you wear it 100 times, now you're getting it at 50 cents. It's a much better value for it. So what we're saying is our products are a high value for people because they get what they take and they provide what we say they do. So some great coaching on that, Dennis.
You bet. And remember, whether it's working with the web centers or Shop Financial or our Motives Cosmetics, the value is there.
That's right. And what are the benefits of retailing? Well, one is profits. And we all have costs to run a business. I've always looked at whatever I can retail. I want to have the ability to cover my costs of my operating costs with retail profits. It's a great way to look at it. And then, of course, make more than that as your retailing gets bigger. But if you can cover your monthly overhead expenses, then when a commission comes, it's truly a commission check for you. Big thing here is it generates and regenerates business volume. Why is that so important? Well, I look back, my first customer, Dennis, was in October of 1997. He is still a customer of mine to this day. So how much volume has he ordered? And people say, well, why doesn't he become a business owner? He didn't want to. Not every customer wants to be a business owner. A lot of them just love the products. That's great as well. Don't ever discourage someone from being a customer. That's a wonderful thing to have. But that regenerated business volume, wow. Last week I had a great retailing week, and it was like $1,300. That's a lot for me in a week, $1,300. But what was great was all the volume that was generated, and because of course the way our business works, I could place it down below into areas I have where I've got a personally sponsored person I've identified, and that volume comes up to help so many business partners. And I have a customer, Dennis, who's on our presentation tonight, who is now a potential business partner. We're talking about getting started because they love the products, because they understand the business. And, it's really interesting, and I may have talked to you about this earlier, I can't remember, but what ended up happening is he had sent in an email about ordering overnight. I think he ordered it like 4 or 5 o'clock Friday night, which again, our warehouse won't be shipping out typically on a Saturday, so the overnight's going to leave Monday, get there Tuesday. I responded by email to him, and then I ended up texting him, and we got on a phone conversation. This is where all the good things started. You have to be a good customer manager because we're looking at a lifetime of benefits if we do this right. And as I was talking to him and we got to know each other a little better, I got to realize I was talking to a great guy who really loved our products, and I think he got a good feel that he had someone who was serious about what they were doing and wanted to take care of their customers. So that's how you can identify business partners. I've always believed the best come from actually being customers because they already understand that part of the business. And we talked about lifetime value and building belief. Dennis, anything you want to add on to any of that?
Yeah, I want to spend just a moment with lifetime value to explain what that is. And when you think about lifetime value of the customer, it's all the future products they're going to buy. It's the referrals that they provide to you. It is the information that leads to submitting for new product ideas. And it's the referrals that become customers and their future referrals. And of course, as your example, we hope that satisfied customer, now that you called him when he wasn't as happy as he could be, and now you've been able to build a relationship, and now you have a potential partner that you'll take through the evaluation. Powerful benefits of retailing.
But remember, the biggest problems end up being the best things. If you don't have big problems, you're not going to have big success, because that gives you the opportunity to overcome some of those things. So always remember that. Sometimes I'll have people call me and say, oh, I'm having this problem with a customer. What should I do? And I'm like, pick the phone up. Stop texting them. Stop emailing them, and pick the phone up and be a real person. Let them know you care and find out what you can do. And that's really what I think a strength Dennis and I would say we've always brought to this business is developing relationships with people through our customers. And that's what we want you to understand and you to develop with them, because it's some people don't get enough of now. Service industries don't do things the way they used to. You know, when you get good service at a restaurant, it's like, hallelujah. You just don't get it all the time anymore like it used to be. So now we want to provide out.
Had to take a little pausey poo right there and go over some more things that I wrote down. First of all, does this really look like they're teaching anything, or is it more they're just kind of like knowledge dumping? And I'm kind of go with, it's a knowledge dump. This is not how you teach people anything. Okay, one of the things that I thought about as I'm looking at this whole defining who you are, to me, when I heard that, the thing that I thought of is like, okay, if this is defining who you are, then you're dehumanizing people. You're taking away their individuality. That's what I'm trying to say. So you're basically replacing who the person was with who they should be according to the Market America way. That's what I'm getting. And you need to have that 1,500 business volume per quarter, but you're encouraged to do more because they're looking at that. That's just the minimum. You want to do more than just the minimum, don't you? And so that's a little bit of pressure, peer pressure applied to you. You want to be one of the people, you know, like, okay, yeah, I'm going along, you know, be part of the get along gang. And to me, that just made me uncomfortable. I mean, there's a lot of other words I could use, but I'm trying to be polite and family friendly. What else did I say over here in my notes? This whole thing, like when other people can't buy it, it makes it more desirable. What? I mean, how are there exclusive brands, whatever these brands are? No Motives is one of them. I think that's the Lauren, JR's wives. That's the beauty brand. No one has ever heard of their brands, though. I mean, have you ever heard anybody talking about how amazing Market America is and what great brands they have? I doubt that you have. And there's a reason, because they're not sought after. And, you know, talking about these vitamins and stuff that they were discussing, I mean, I'm sorry. Those are not special products. I mean, there's not like some unicorn that pooped out some amazing vitamins and they're like bottling them up and selling them. And so that's just a big old bucket of hooey. Everything they've said so far is just, to me, it's so that the members internalize the narrative, so that the story they are telling, it becomes part of the fabric of the individual. Again, it's replacing who the person was before Market America with the Market America personality, in my opinion.
Standing service in our business to our customers.
So when we start talking about retailing, you should choose the right product. So let me talk to you a little bit about how you go about to choose the right products. First and foremost, you want to use products and include those products in which you're currently using and you can be passionate about. Now, you know, if you look in my home, I probably have 50 or 60 of our products that I use on a regular basis with the family and so forth that I'm very comfortable with. Now, I didn't come into the business knowing 50 or 60 products. This happened over years. I'm recommending that you choose products, usually 3 or 4, and you determine the size of the market. Is it large enough? Are there enough people that you're going to be able to talk to about the benefits of those specific products that will either say, I need those benefits, or I know someone who needs those benefits. And that's where it is, must be in demand. So if you know your customers, it's easier to sell to an existing customer a new product. Several of my teammates that are on the call tonight, when we have our meetings, we talk about how we were able to contact existing customers and then offer new products that are in demand and coming away with the retail sales. Profitability. You know, I love our SNAP products, but there's just not enough profit in there to sell enough SNAP products for it to cover my overhead. However, my major happens to be working with the transitions lifestyle. And I know when I get into the 30-day jumpstart kits, I'm making a $50 profit on that. So again, I'm also selling multiple products. So the repeat sales are not just going to be a single product. You should sell something that you enjoy selling, that you can be enthusiastic about. You know, in fact,
Right.
people tell me, you know, all the time, when I say, what do you like best? It says, you really believe in this product, don't you? I said, yeah, I do. I've been a user for years. And of course, the recurring sales value. I like consumable complementary products or services that lead me into consumable complementary products, because small business owners who might need a website are also going to be dealing with energy and stress issues and want to stay vital so that they can enjoy the future from the success of their business. And remember, keep the customer coming back. Education. Don't be afraid to market. Use those great articles in your monthly, bi-monthly, unfranchised magazine. You can send them out. They're digital. And if they click on the article, it takes them right to your website to be able to purchase that product. Choosing the right product is critical. And remember, it's greater than 1,500 business volume a quarter. Keep that in your mind.
I love that, sending the digital catalog, Dennis. That's a great idea, because that comes right back to your, like you said, to your own franchise. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, you said, you know, reaching out to customers. Do you typically, when you're trying to expand the share of customers, is that a phone call? Is that an email? Is that a text? Or is it all of them?
Yes. The answer is yes. It's all of them. And again, it all depends on the relationship and how I want to approach it. Now, again, I can't market. I have hundreds of customers. I've been unfranchised under 29 years. Yeah. So I have hundreds of customers. So I have to take maybe groups of 10 at a time and working those 10 and getting to know them. And this is something that people have to remember. On your back office in the UFMS, you have the ability to put details into your customer profiles. That's right. Not enough of you do that. You maybe put their address and phone number, but you got to go to the bottom of the page, and there's more room for names of kids. Do they have pets? Do they own a house? Are they in an apartment? What we are not doing well enough is knowing who our clients are, Jim.
Yeah, you know, and that was one of the first things I ever learned when I started a sales career. I had a great manager, and one of the things he taught me is he said, it's not as important as what you sold as what you learned about your customer. So the next time you talk to them, he said, hey, Dennis, how was that trip you and Nancy had? Exactly. And I'll tell you, that's something we can all get better at, and something I hope you take away from what we're talking about now. And don't be embarrassed. You know, if you're talking to someone, write it down. You know, a lot of times we're on Zoom or we're on a phone call. Write it down and then put it in that notes section, so that the next time before you reach out to them, you look at that. It's amazing how that creates a connection. And, you know, they may even know you wrote it down. They don't care, because you know what? No one else writes things down about them, and they're really happy someone cares enough to ask. And so great points with that, Dennis.
You bet.
You know, when you're committing to becoming a master retailer, you got to commit to the product, right? You got to commit to be a product of your product. When Dennis stayed at my house one night, he was doing a district in Wisconsin, and I think we woke up and we had, it was a race to see who could have the bigger isotonics cup of supplements. as we were doing it, as we were then taking all of our pills, we were just laughing at each other because we believe in what we have here because we know what it does for people. You got to know the story about the products, or know someone else's story about how it's helped them. You got to identify the tools, and we're going to give you some of those tonight, whether it be handouts, videos, articles, testimonials. Know where those are and know your value proposition. I think that's part of what Dennis and I were talking about a little bit earlier. And be real good at implementing a follow-up system, whatever that may be. We're so fortunate to have our Vice President, Dr. Deidre Mason, who does a lot of videos on our products or on areas of our health and nutrition. Dennis, a lot of times I'll take one of Deidre's videos that goes on YouTube, and I'll take that and I'll send that out to my customers. And I'll say, what I'm trying to do is give them more than just, hey, I'm looking for a sale. Hey, I know you're really interested in your health. This is one of our top trainers and Dr. Deidre Mason from our company. I thought you'd love to hear her talking about stress-related issues. And I'll send that. I keep an email list of my customers. I'll send that out because I always want to be valuable to them more than just for products. I hope that makes sense to everybody. But the more valuable you become, the less the chance they're going to go somewhere else to order. Dennis, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I want to just go to the value proposition real quick. And I just want to bring up a couple items for each of you to think about. When we talk about the value proposition, if my goal is to exceed 1,500 business volume in a quarter and I'm working to 10 customers, what is the amount of the average order that you're looking to put out there? My recommendation is you should target products or combinations of products that exceed 40 business volume. Yeah. 10 times 40 is 400 plus your personal use. You're easy over the 1,500 mark over 3 months. Just think anything added on to that 40 business volume is a plus. And remember, we're working towards the maximum. The other thing I want you to understand is that there are costs when you retail. So know what they are. Know what your processing fees are. Know what your cashback fee is. Know what's happening and get that net retail profit, because ultimately we want to cover our overhead, our monthly overhead. And let's make it real simple. On average, it's $250 to $300 a month. So you want to make sure that you're getting about $30 in retail profit from each client that you work with on a monthly basis. That's going to cover those basic essentials. Now, when you start talking about the major events, you're going to have to earn your way there so you can increase your sales by adding new products or adding 4 or 5 or 6 new customers, because my philosophy has always been liquidate your expenses, as well as since we started this company 29 years ago. And then the only other thing that I want you to know is if you put together what that value proposition would be, you always have a target when you're putting products together to share with individuals. So I just wanted to share that.
No, that's tremendous. I remember, Dennis, you coaching my team at one point. I was trying to get people to an event, to a major event, it's a $200 ticket. And I think at that time you used, it might have been Pentaxel as an example. Right. And you said each Pentaxel has X amount of retail profit. So if they go out and they sell 10 of these, they basically got their ticket for free. And that always stuck with me. It's always been part of my coaching philosophy. And someone goes, well, I don't know if I can afford that. You can definitely afford it. You're just going to have to do some work to make the retail profit.
Okay, I just have to stop right there because this is something that came to my mind. First of all, you're told to, choose between 3 to 4 products, right? But then later, those products have to be 40 BV of that business volume. If I were teaching something like this would be something that you could do where you would actually be teaching, is you would tell people you need to choose 3 to 4 products that are worth the business volume, 40 BV. Give them a time, set a timer, say 10 minutes, to give people an opportunity to go and look and see what products would they be interested in, which it really feels like that they don't know much about the products, and you would really want to narrow it down maybe and give them like products, like maybe give them like 10 products or 20 products to look at. And out of those, choose 3 to 4 because you know like they're good products or something. And then come back and ask people, okay, what products did you choose? Have people put it in chat so that you could have some sort of discussion. Why was it chosen? Here's the benefits of it. Something where people are involved, because right now they're not actively involved. They are just empty receptacles where all they're doing is pouring in some information, and it's information overload.
To afford it. So thank you for that over the years.
Good. So I challenge all of you listening today to pay your way to the upcoming international convention, at least for the ticket that you're purchasing. All right, base 10. It is the actual foundation of your retailing effort. So as fast as you can, you want to be able to generate at least 10 repeat customers. Now, I like to put timing on this. So I always stress 90 days. Basically, if you can get 10 customers over 90 days, you're basically putting things in perspective as what you have to do, your action items. Now, there is a storyline to this, because if you give yourself 6 months to get 10 customers, you'll take 6 months to get 10 customers. But if you give yourself 30 days to get 10 customers, you'll get 10 customers in 30 days, or if 90. But again, when you understand that it's both retail and qualifying, you want to split that time up effectively. But I'm going to tell you this up front. A lot of people ask me, Dennis, what's more important? Is it retailing, or is it identifying those individuals to go through the evaluation process? And the answer is both. However, if you pressed me, cash flow is king, people. Cash flow will keep you in the business to allow you to evaluate more people. So that's my answer. I'm sticking with it.
I love it. The answer is, which is more important? Yes. That is great. And you know, when we talk about, once we get those 10, Dennis, as you mentioned, I love you use the example of 40 BB, which could be a packet of daily essentials. It can be core, so many different things. Well, then we're duplicating that within an organization. And the reason, what we're trying to do at this point is get 3 people on the left of our business and 3 people on the right of our business who are doing the same things we're doing. Now, Dennis, I did want to ask you, do you know that 90 days you're trying to get 10 customers, is that when you start a new person, do you tell them that's our goal, 10 customers in 90 days?
Yes, and it's base 10-7 strong in 4 to 6 months. So I'm setting the stage for the first 90 days to get that cash flow going. It's important to recover the startup capital and then getting that month-to-month cash flow. And that process will open up once you accomplish that to spend more time in the evaluation process.
That is so good. So 90 days to get to 10 customers and 4 to 6 months to get to base 10-7 strong. Looking at it that way, that is a wonderful goal and thought process for everybody to have, and put some time frames on it to really push yourself a little bit to be able to get there. So when you and Kevin used to teach us, I never quite got the 7 strong. I think it was a little bit of a slow learner on it. And I kept thinking, well, what if everybody doesn't do it? But it doesn't have to build exactly. Sometimes it's going to be you sponsor someone and they'll duplicate. Sometimes it'll be you have to sponsor 3 people in an area to get that. And sometimes all of them won't do it. The goal is, team, we're looking to find a minimum of 3 on each side who are following the base 10-7 strong and really getting there.
And you know, Jim, real quick in comment, that's going to get you to earn that first commission faster. And that's what we're trying to focus on here. Now, again, what's the logic? To get that first commission check. But when we start thinking about the logic, we're thinking about the duplication or imprinting of base 10-7 strong. So here's an example that basically you shared with one power leg. This is not where one person just comes in and brings in 2 people. This is where the people that are on the call tonight that says, out of my way, I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to sponsor 3 on the left. So they personally sponsor 3 on the left, and they help them get their timetables to build base 10, 7 strong. Now, I just want you to see what's happening here in this diagram. You're building a taproot. What you're doing, that some people refer to this as the power leg. Okay, and what we know is when you have a taproot or power leg where lots of BV flows up, it forces individuals to start building weak that automatically becomes a multiplier of business volume. Now, even in this example where you have 3 people building out base 10, 7 strong, you're generating some 10,500 business volume per month. Folks, that is senior master. That is a senior master position, and you're running at 3,000 in commissions by building just 21 people on your left by duplicating base 10, 7 strong with 3 people.
So good. So good. You know, and when you've done that, as Dennis mentioned, whatever way it works out, it starts to build. In this example here, you might have brought in somebody who is duplicating, right, Dennis? This is what we all pray for, isn't it? We want that person who listens to us and does what we say and builds. And all of a sudden, you know, this person right here develops their 2 people who have built their 10 customers, who are now developing their businesses and duplicating that same process. And in this small example we're showing you right here of this duplicating, look at the amount of BD that's starting to be generated from 19 unfranchised owners doing this. I think one of the things that attracted me so much to this business when I took a look at it was that it did not take large amounts of people to earn some substantial commissions if people were retailing it. And retailing's always been, since I've been here, the basis of building this. And it's such a big component because I came from a corporate background. You can't run a corporation if you don't move products to end consumers. And that's what we do and do a great job of it.
I just want to say this in regards to this, Jim, and I want everybody to listen carefully. I was in the business before Jim. I happen to be one of the individuals that helped train Jim when he came in. Today, Jim earns more commissions than I do. And I just want to make that very clear.
Yes, so important. Great point, Dennis, on that. I love when you give shout outs on different things to bring up and re-hit those points, you know. Mm-hmm. As we move forward, I know we're going to take most of our questions at the end. We've talked. There was a question about follow-up systems. Is there anything in particular you do, Dennis, that you would recommend?
Yes, it's best 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 3rd week. And the reason is it's that first week to make sure that they're taking the product correctly, making sure that you let them know you're thinking about them, and then providing some form of education based on what the purchase was. All that's happening in week 1. Then you're going into the 2nd week and you're just checking up on them. And the best way I like to check up on people is simply, hey, I met someone today that reminded me of you, you know, or I heard a testimonial today and I wanted to share it because it was similar to what you were trying to accomplish. It's an encouragement kind of thing. And then week 3, when you're day 21, I'm calling back or communicating that I'm putting in my order. Would you like me to send yours out at the same time?
Oh, so good. And, you know, luckily, we've got also through our unfranchised marketing app, we've got follow-up at least on communicating initially to the person. Yours was after they'd started, which is even better on how to follow up with, because I think all of us, that can be a struggle. But I think if you keep your customers in front of you, like Dennis is talking about, you're going to do great on follow-up. You know, we've got some great tools, Dennis, too, if you want to touch on our home shopping list.
Yes, absolutely. This is one of my favorite. It's really simple, Jim, when we look at it. The home shopping list is just like a memory jogger for making a names list. It sort of throws out there products that we all use to make it available. And, this is a way to make people aware that you're more than just whatever you're representing. So I like to use this specifically while I'm going to do an evaluation, usually on my first meet. I also would like to use this when I introduce it to a friend of mine to let them know that I'm in the business and want to ask them a favor to complete this. And the reason is it's just to show you the variety of things that I'm now able to offer. And it's nice because when you flip this up, you're getting our brands, and it's just a perfect match. And quite frankly, I have gone to people that I know, I said, do me a favor, buy something.
Okay, so now I know what this whole base 10 thing is. Okay, that is your foundation for your retailing effort, and you want to set a deadline of 90 days, not 6 months. Okay, got that loud and clear. But here's the thing. Are you going to be able to find 10 people to be customers? But it's not just about getting people as customers. You want other people to sign up with you to become this unfranchised business owner nonsense. I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. It just seems so ludicrous. So this whole idea that you are going to now get 7 strong, that these 7 UFOs, unfranchised owners, each of them are going to then get 10 personally sponsored customers underneath them, and also then find 7 people to be a UFO. Oh my gosh, I'm getting just confused trying to think about this. And I mean, I really don't see this working out for most people. And when they start doing the math and showing you like how it's branching out, it's like, yeah, most people aren't going to be able to build that, because you know what people are going to do as soon as they bring it up? They're going to be, see, I wouldn't want to be, because people are going to smell the jank. That's the thing. Anybody coming in right now, unless they have a massive, massive following, influence with people, they're not going to find people that are going to be like, yeah, I want to sign up for that. But they try to make it sound as if it's so simple, because in theory, it sounds simple. The reality, though, of making this happen so that you get these 7 strong, these personally sponsored UFOs, and each of them getting personally sponsored, I just have no words.
You're my friend for 20 years. Buy something. If you don't buy something, I can't believe it. Don't ever ask me to buy another ticket from you. All right.
One of the things I've seen on this, I loved it, Dennis, is, and when we eventually start getting back into the homes more, obviously, but at like a home presentation, either a business or a product one, where there's a group of, say, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Vicki Noveski did this, where she had everybody fill it out in the beginning, and at the end she gave prizes. But so people would have to say, how many do you have? Well, I have 30, and this one had 40, and this one had, well, all the guests were hearing all these people who use all these products, and it just made so much sense then, and made them start thinking, well, everybody's using these many products. Why wouldn't I look at this more as a business, or what have I found for myself? So it's a great tool for us to use. There was a question, do we have this electronic at all? And Dennis, I didn't know the answer to that.
The answer is it's being worked on as we speak. And of course, Kevin Buckman and the Asia Pacific got working with Andrew Chi up in Toronto, Canada, and they're working on a version of this for the electronic side. But I just want to go back and say what you said. We're starting to be able to get back with people, and especially if you meet outside. So
yeah.
You're on your way.
It will be great when we can all meet together again, Mona. Although this is a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of this still, but it'll be great to be together. One of the other things we have is our catalogs. And I'm a big fan of our catalogs. Someone had asked when they're being reprinted, and I couldn't remember the exact timing on it, but I do know it'll be coming up again soon because we're moving through catalogs very quickly. And, a big reason for that is because of that ability that we have now to also order those catalogs when we're sending an order out for people, which is so nice. So when you're checking out, you have the ability for $3 to send a catalog with the product order. But I'm going to give you a tip that's going to pay for this entire 12-week class. Now, the class is free, so whatever I say works anyway. But I would not just send the catalog or it's a waste of time. What I would do is let them know you've sent them a catalog. Send the customer a text after you do it. Say, hey, I'm sending a catalog. Have a catalog yourself and have picked a couple items in there and say, I'd love you to look at page 6 at this product. I think it might be something you'd be interested in. That way you're giving them, again, a more personal approach as you're sending the catalog to them. Anything you'd like to add about catalogs, Dennis?
No, it's standard operating procedure. If there's profit enough in that order, I am putting a catalog in. I just recommend that you remember who you send catalogs to so you're not doubling up on it.
Good point. And you know what I do on that, Dennis? I write that in my notes. So in my note, my customer notes, it will tell me if I look at my customer, what the amount of product they ordered, what they ordered, and then I put in, did I send them a catalog or did I send them a trial packet like we have on here? Because I don't want to waste money and send things twice to people or do things like that. So again, I would really recommend you keep that customer contact and you keep that information. That's yours. The more you know on all of this that we're talking about, the better customer manager you're going to be. But this is so tremendous, to be able to add these beautiful trial size packets with the brochures built around them to our customers, right, and include that in an order. But again, please listen to this. Don't just send it. Make sure you follow up and let them know it's coming. Let them know there's a gift coming for them. You'd like them to try and you'd like to follow up and see how they like it.
Excellent. So when we start talking about product information, these are spectacular for us to use. They're in your back office. When people talk to me about our unfranchised management services that we offer for just $21.95 on a monthly basis, it's worth 100 times more than that. Basically, getting to all of these different things fast and getting the information out. If you haven't used your unfranchised.com product details and support materials or utilize your YouTube station for Market America, your shopping annuity assessment, and for me, the product events, do them all the time with our teams. But I will say this to everyone only because we know, and that is with our marketing app, our unfranchised marketing app, and soon to come, the Shop Live system, it is going to be breakthrough when it comes to retailing product and building share of customer. I am so proud of this company taking that giant step to bring us to another level in getting information to our customers and be able to capture their orders on our own sites. That is powerful, folks. Can't wait. Fired up.
It is going to be amazing. And all the things we're discussing now will just make that much stronger when we launch it and after you launch. So you're really picking up some great things. I know, Dennis, you often lead the product symposium. And I'm just going to put a shameless plug in here that when we have our next one, and if it is online, Matt, I would recommend for every single person who wants to grow the retail basis to get to that product symposium. It is such a special event to learn about our products.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to give everybody listening the date because we haven't put it out yet. Looking for Saturday and Sunday, October 9th and 10th. And it will be online.
Ooh, exciting. Okay, great. So you heard it first here because you are part of the master class. You got to hear that from our dean of our majors, university majors. All right, so we're now moving into the virtual try me. How many of you have tried this? This is incredible, right? where you have the ability to go to our Motives Cosmetics. You can download a picture. You can use your camera. You pick the item you want to use, and it actually puts it on you. It looks like you have it on you. It's a little bit crazy. But what an incredible item we have done with this. And you mentioned earlier, sales are already skyrocketing in a lot of these products through using this product. And, I'm a product of the product, Dennis, as you know.
Yes.
And when I took a good look at this, I mean, look at it. You can have a little video showing it. It can change right there in terms of the colors that we have. I said, this is great, but I wonder what I'd look like if I used some of this. And unfortunately, it wasn't that pretty. But for those of you who like this, it is the Rumors Motives Liquid Lipstick, okay? It did take away some of the lines on the forehead, but that's how easy. If I can use it, you can use it. Dennis will probably be sharing this next week.
Oh, I love the pout. You really had that.
I'm up for the fish lip.
Yeah. You gotta have fun, people. You gotta have fun. Lord have mercy.
That's what JR always tells us that, right? We gotta have fun.
Absolutely. Here's our digital magazine, our product brochures, flyers, posters, videos. Folks, your support materials are there. Take the time to, especially with the products that you're selecting to be your main products, all right, getting out there. Get this information down.
That's right. And then, we've got all of our sites that we have, which have made it so easy to be able to send somebody to an area that might be a specialty for them. And, make sure, again, we only make sales through our official Market America sites, but what an incredible advantage we have with all these different sites that we have. Like the TLSslim.com site is a great example, Dennis, that, wonderful for people who are looking at an area of weight management that they want to take a look at.
I agree. Totally.
I would like to say an unutilized area we have are our custom mini websites. And you have the ability to pick, say, 3 or 4 products and make your own mini website if you have not done that. And let's say you love Daily Essentials and you love another Omegas or the Heart Health line. You could put 2 or 3 products just in there, and that could be what you promote. Or if it was TLS, you could just put in 3 TLS products and make that your own personal website that you could send to people. As we talk about all this, my new favorite thing, of course, is the Unfranchised Marketing app. And I've been using this so much for business as well as for retailing, Dennis, sending videos out from it. I love being able I went on today, I had 4 follow-ups. I could look and see, did they watch the video on there? And it's right in our marketing app. It's a great interface for us. It easily shares the product and the business content. We've got the prospect activity tracking system. We can sync our contacts. We can customize hot and cold prospects in there so that once you put your contacts in, you can make a hot list. We can send personalized sample websites. We have automatic follow-up systems. And then we have product sample tracking systems. All of this put into one. And I know you and I have spent, Dennis, multiple hours using and training on this. So that is available for people as well.
I do want to say one thing about this. We talked about putting the samples in a preferred customer order that you're shipping out. Let me just remind you, folks, that if that customer is not in your contact list, be sure to take that customer, enter them in your contact list, and when you go to your unfranchised marketing app, go to contacts and refresh. All right. And you just pull the screen down and let it back up and all of the new names that you add, because what happens is you'll get your notices from the actual shipment of product when it's shipped and when it's out, and you start the follow-up process right from there too. It's quite dynamic. I'm very impressed, very impressed. Jim, those out.
Okay. I forgot to mention this. It was mentioned in a previous clip, so sorry, but this whole idea of I'm about to put in my order, can I go ahead and put yours in? Yeah, that doesn't come across pushy and nosy whatsoever. You're just taking care of someone. You're taking care of your customer because you're just helping them out. Baloney. Just a big old bucket of, I don't think so. All of this stuff, okay, it's really confusing to me because they're talking about the catalog, but then they're talking about the website. These days, most people don't give a flip about a catalog. They're all about what's easy for me, and that is give me an app, give me a URL, let me go and check it out myself. But they're not like, oh, on page 10, be sure I circled it for you. Be sure you go check whatever the heck it is. And you're going to have to pay for those catalogs, but you only send them out to, certain customers, not everybody. Don't want to give them to everybody. And I want to say they said there are $3 a piece. They also talked about some trial size of something, and I bet you're going to have to pay for those too, because these companies, you're an unpaid sales force. They don't give you diddly. It's all about, what are all the things that you need to sell our poo? Oh, that's going to cost you because you're building your unfranchised business. And, you just got to invest in your unfranchised business. So you get people believe in that malarkey. So they think that they're doing this for themselves and it's going to help their bottom line. It's not. It's going to help people like these two blowhards in their bottom line. I mean, that's just how it is. That's what's going. And this virtual try me, give me a break. I want to say like 2 years ago, it was Unique that came out with something like this. And I'm sure there's a bazillion other makeup lines that have this too. This is not revolutionary. It's not like, oh, wow, they're just so cutting edge. No, they're not. They're trying to be, and they're failing miserably, in my opinion.
Hours that we spent, and I got to tell you folks that we were shamed into this, that we had to learn because we looked at each other, asked questions, and neither of us know the answer. So we had to spend the time to learn. But now that we've done it, saved us so many more hours in just to follow up and getting information out.
And that is so correct on there. And you're doing all this, whether it be with the email, with order samples for free, customized messages and more. The way this looks, Dennis, incredible.
Yes, it's such a professional presentation. And I've had comments from whether I handed them out or whether I sent them out. They were just complimenting on what a great presentation of what you have to offer. So good. So good. It's worth every penny of it.
And everybody should have a 10-pack of these. It's just great to have those present and ready as you're out in life doing things. You should always have one with you when you're out, because you never know when you're going to need it to do that.
I got to tell you, Jim, I'll tell you this quick story. I know we're talking a lot tonight, but I bought a 10-pack of the new Lumiere de Vie Needle Free. And where I work out, there's a spin class with about 30 women that are there spinning. And I'm
and you and 30 women. I just want to clarify that. I'm
going to go get me 10 new product samples handed out with 10 new potential clients.
That is a tremendous goal.
That's tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Okay, good. Well, let's talk about what happens here. UFO can send a single sample to a customer. A customer purchase samples from your website. You can hand out daily essential samples direct. You can include an isotonic daily essential sample in your next preferred customer order that you ship. These are all 4 different ways right on the app. Dennis, they have the ability to do that. And, makes it so simple. Please take the time. If you're wondering, where can you find them? One of the things you can do is go to YouTube. And if you go to Market America YouTube, Dennis and I have 3 different trainings on there that you can watch to really get up to date on the unfranchised training. And Dennis, they also have trainings on the bottom of the app, isn't that right? And videos on the bottom. Yeah.
Yes, they have multiple 90-second trainings on there. They're wonderful for explanations. Yes.
That's great. So why don't we talk a little bit about, we covered a lot on retail and we'll answer some questions, but let's talk about homework for the week.
Okay, so first let's start by contacting a minimum of 5 current customers to introduce one of the new Market America products. And if not the new ones, just a product that they're not currently using that you feel that client would be interested in. Okay, that's a minimum, so you can do more.
Minimum again. And again, we're going to email what you did with this. You can put it, send it to masterufo@marketamerica.com, or you know what you can do is you can put your people you contacted on your notes of the weekly accountability, and you can put it in there as well. Either one is okay. We just want to know you did it and what results happened. The second thing is contact a minimum of 5 people to introduce our products to. So the first one was really current customers that we're trying to expand. The second one is, hey, there's a bunch of people you know who have probably never really looked at our products. Let's contact them and ask them to do a consultation and take a look at what we have or talk about one product.
Beautiful. I love that one. And then we want you to hand out or send out 3 trial-size sample packets of one of our new, the sleep product, the needle-free, and or our daily essentials to take you to another level. And again, it takes an effort, but get it done.
That's right, and just 3. You know, we initially said we do 5. This is a master class. We gave you the mini class on that one. It's only 3. You can definitely do more, but we want to get you started. And then submit your electronic accountability each Saturday to masterufo@marketamerica.com. You know, that is really what we had to share with you today. And Dennis, why don't we wrap up with taking a few questions? Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds like yes, absolutely. Let's see. Creating a good follow-up system is my greatest challenge. Yes, we brought that up, Kim. You know, it's just your decision to become the best follow-up person on the planet. I remember JR telling me when I told him it was my weakness, he immediately came back and said, it's my weakness. It seems universally it's our weakness across the board. So your effort to conquer this weakness is critical in your leadership role for your future organization. So find a way, find what works for you, and be consistent.
Keisha, the sheet we were talking about, I'm not sure which one you mean. If it's the accountability sheet, that's in the back of unfranchise.com. And again, what I would recommend on some of these, and I'm not trying to be tough on you, but I'm going to say, hey, go back and watch week 1. We shared exactly where everything is. That'll make sure you took the time to do it. But it is in unfranchise.com. If you're looking for the commitment sheet, that is also in unfranchise.com, and that's under support materials. But again, you can go back and watch week 1, and that'll be a great way, again, and that's on YouTube, Market America YouTube, to be able to do that.
Kathy, where do you find the digital catalog? It's mailed to you every other month, and you have a list of them back on your support materials in your back office. Just put in the search digital catalogs or unfranchise magazine digital catalog, and they will come up.
Okay. And then, and by the way, that's the Unfranchised magazine. I think maybe they're thinking digital catalog. It's the Unfranchised magazine. Yes. Make sure. And then I think Michelle's asking for, when put in your notes for each customer, do you do it on the Unfranchised app or the back office under customer managers? And the answer would be yes. Whatever you're more comfortable where you want to put it, you can put it on your contact information. I tend to use Outlook a lot. I do it in there. I know Dennis mentioned you can do it right from the back office to keep everything together, but it's really whatever system will work best for you to make sure before you contact that customer, you have something like that up there and available.
We have a C-Lord that's asking about when can we sync our customers directly from the UFMS back office to the marketing app. What a brilliant idea, Jim. We have to really go back and push on that. As of right now, I do not see that happening immediately, but now that you brought it up, You know, I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that. With the Shop Live, there'll be a desktop version for that, which they'll be able to take your contacts off your desktop. But I didn't think about that from our...
I have talked to Chris about this, Dennis, so I think they may already be working on some things with that. So we can confirm that tomorrow, but I think that's already in progress, because that would be a great thing for people to be able to do. Great question, Steve.
What is needle-free? This is from Anonymous. It's for those individuals that want to tighten up your face before that big night out. It just really does an immediately great job in making things happen. So check it out. Look it up on your back office, or look it up on shop.com or motorscosmetics.com.
Right. How can we prepare now for Shop Live? I would say with that, really the best thing you can do is to continue to generate and have more customers who are getting interested in what we're doing. So when Shop Live comes, you have the ability to then get them on Shop Live right away, because they already have an interest, Evelyn, in something we're doing.
Amy, I just want to say this. When you're giving out a 3-day trial of Daily Essentials, it's not a wonder product where you're going to have an immediate impact 100% of the time. It's a lifetime product. So please set up that those 4 products that are included in Daily Essentials is products that basically fill the void of things you don't get in your daily diet, and set it up to the ease of it. And today, supplementation used to be for the wealthy, but today supplementation needs to be for everyone. And that's basically how I recommend setting that up.
That's great. Yolanda, the October 9th and 10th that Dennis was talking about was our product symposium, which is a specialized, is that going to be a 1-day or a 2-day Dennis training with top doctors that we have and health professionals who will be discussing our products. Always a tremendous event for learning and educational on our health and nutrition lines, as well as our other majors.
Jim, I know there's more questions, but it's really about time. We need to be done.
We love you. We love your enthusiasm, guys, and we're trying to give as much as we can. But my man has to be up early tomorrow to spin and give out samples. So we need to close it out. Thanks for being on with us. It was a great class, Dennis. Fantastic. And we look forward to everybody turning everything in and having a great week this week. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Okay, let me ask you this. What are your key takeaways? That's something that through training that's created of people that I work with, oftentimes that's something that we do, like, to kind of wrap up instruction. What are your key takeaways? Because from all of this, it's still not instruction. It's a knowledge dump, which just drives me nuts. And this whole idea, I want to know, where is he going to spin class right now? Because this is happening during the pandemic. And I don't think that all gyms are opened up. Maybe they have gyms opened where you are. I honestly don't know if they have here or not. Maybe partially, I don't know. But just hearing that just makes me uncomfortable at the thought that he's going to approach people that are in spin class and give them samples. It's just, ew, just ew. That's what I got, ew. And then you get more homework, which is more indoctrination, furthering getting you into the belief system and getting you, believing in them and hooked on them as, they're somehow guiding you. And they're not. This whole sending out samples. Now, okay, and they also have on that screen that customers could buy samples. Who is going to buy a sample? If it's a sample, I'm expecting that sample to be given to me. I'm not expecting to have to purchase. Oh, but you're an unfranchised business owner. You can get the samples for your people and send them out. They encourage you to do that. They encourage you to connect with 5 current customers. I mean, come on, 5 will get you 10. Most of these people who are watching these blowhards, they don't have 5 customers. I mean, let's just be real. If there's thousands of people, because they said there were at least like 1,800, something like that.
They don't all have 5 customers. Let's just be honest. That'd be like what, 40,000 people, something like, no, that ain't happening. That is not happening. And then there's like connect with 5 new people and introduce them to the products. Well, that's a lot, week to week doing these type of things, because typically in these types of structured opportunities, businesses, they give you something much smaller than that, but they're really going for the gusto. Again, I want to know, what are your key takeaways? What did you learn from all of this? Besides, this is a big old bucket of hooey, and these are a couple of blowhards, in my opinion. It just really drives me nuts. And this whole thing, oh, you gotta have a good time, and they're just guffawing and laughing, and it's just cringe to me. Maybe I'm just being, too hard, or maybe these things just really annoy the stink out of me. Yeah, I'd say that does it. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate your time, and remember, you're beautiful, and I love you.